Hello friends, I welcome you all in my lecture Basics of S Parameter for a two-port network. Now first of all we will see why we need parameters. Basically when we want to analyze the circuit then we are using the various parameters. Analyzing the circuit means what? That is finding out what will be the output of the circuit for giving input conditions. Similarly, what will be the current through the particular branch of the circuit? What will be the voltage across the particular component or a particular branch of the circuit? That is called as a circuit analysis. We can use the various parameters for this circuit analysis like ABCD parameter, Z parameter, Y parameter. You can use an H parameters also that you have studied in your first year, second year, or in the third year also, or that you use in the first, second, and third year also. But see, whenever we are moving to the microwave frequencies or whenever we are moving to the higher frequencies, these parameters are becoming useless. So first of all, we'll see why we can't use these parameters like ABCD parameter, Z parameters, or H parameters for a microwave circuits. Then which type of parameters that we can use for a microwave circuit, that we will see in a today's lecture. Then how to calculate these parameters, that also we will see. So first of all, what is the objectives of my today's lecture? That is, students should able to derive S parameters for a two-port network. So as I told you, that is, the parameters are used to analyze the circuit. So whatever the parameters you have studied up till now, that is ABCD parameter, Z, Y, and H parameters to analyze the circuit, we can't use that same parameters for microwave circuits. So why we can't use this, that we will see first. See, whenever we are talking about finding out the Z parameters or Y parameters, ABCD parameters or H parameters, they are mainly involved with a short circuit of the terminals and the open circuit of the terminals. But if in a microwave, if you want to do the open circuit of the terminals, or if you are open circuiting the terminal, the chances are like the radiations will takes place. So similarly, when we are doing in a short circuit in the terminals, then the chances are having a very high current flow in the throughout the terminals. So that are possible. So in the case of a microwave, it is not possible to have open circuit and short circuit very easily. This is the first barrier when we are using this Z parameters, Y parameters, ABCD or H parameters for the analysis of high frequency high frequency operating circuits. Then the equipments are not easily available to measure the total voltage and the current. See, whenever we are analyzing, mainly we are measuring the voltage and current. Now, to measure this voltage and current, the equipments which are used, that will be the digital voltmeters or CROs and DSOs. But this CRO, DSO, and multimeters, they are having their own operating frequency range, and they can be used up till 30 megahertz or 60 megahertz. So there is a limitation on the frequencies of this operating frequencies of these devices. And again, if you want to go for a higher operating frequency devices, the cost of devices goes on increasing. So we can say like that equipments are not easily available to measure the total voltage and current. So we can't go directly for the measurement of the voltages and current in case of microwave circuit. Similarly, the active devices, when they are operated at a very high frequency, and if one of the terminal of the active device is open or one of the terminal is short circuited, then they will lose their stability. They will lose their stability. Like active devices, that means the transistors, diodes. When one of the terminal is open circuited, they will lose their stability. So we can say that active devices do not have a stability for open and short circuit. So these are some limitations when we are using the ABCD parameters, Y parameters, or Z parameters at an high frequencies. Then which parameters we have to use at an high frequencies? Then for the analysis of the circuit at an high frequencies, we have to go for an S parameters. S stands for a scattering parameter. S stands for scattering parameters. Then how we can measure these scattering parameters, or how to calculate these scattering parameters. Now to measure the scattering parameters, the first of all we should know what is a scattering parameter. Normally the scattering parameter can is relating the in between, it is a relation in between the two ports. It is a relation in between the two ports, and one of the port is considered as an input port, and one of the port is considered as an output port. So it will be a relation in between the two ports. So if you want to write a scattering parameter for the signal or for the relation in between the port I and J, then we can write the scattering parameters like Sij, where this S stands for a scattering parameter, S stands for an scattering parameter, then J stands for an input port, and I stands for an output port. I stands for an output port. Okay, J stands for input port, I stands for output port. Then how to calculate this S, I, and J? It is Sij represent where it is a relation in between I and J port whenever the signal is inputted at a port J and outputted at a port I. Okay, so Sij is equal to normalized reflected wave at a port I at the ith port divided by normalized incident wave at an jth port, where J is an input port, I is an output. So whatever the reflected signal that we are getting at an ith port, an incident, that means an input signal, that is the input wave that we are getting at an jth port. Now whatever this normalized reflected wave at an ith port, if you are representing by the Bi, and normalized incident wave at a j port, if you are representing by Aj, then Sij is equal to Bi upon Az. Sij is equal to Bi upon Az. Then how to calculate this Bi and Az? Bi stands for normalized reflected wave. So how to calculate this normalized reflected wave? Normalized reflected wave can be calculated as Bi is equal to reflected voltage wave at ith port divided by, we want to normalize this, so divided by the characteristic under root of a characteristic impedance at an ith port. So under root of Z0I or ZOI represent a characteristic impedance at a ith port. So Bi is equal to reflected voltage wave at ith port divided by under root of characteristic impedance Z0I. Okay. Similarly, the normalized incident wave at an jth port, that is Aj, can be calculated as Aj equals to incident voltage wave at an jth port divided by under root of Z0j. So Z0j means what? That is a characteristic impedance at an jth port, characteristic impedance of an jth port. Okay, so like this we can calculate a normalized reflected wave at an ith port or normalized incident wave at an jth port, and we can write the parameter Sij, or we can calculate the parameter by using this ratio Bi upon Aj, and we can calculate as Sij. So before going to the calculation of a parameter, first we will see how we can write this parameter for an, various input and output conditions. Normally for a two-port network, we are having two ports. Okay, port number one and port number two. Any of the port we can use it as an input port, and any of the port we can use it as an output port. So we will see how we can write the S parameters for a two-port network first. So If the reflected signal is at a port 1 and the incident signal at a port 1, that means the incident stands for an input and the reflected stands for an output. So if we are providing an input at a port 1 and the output is also available, or if you are measuring the output at a port 1, that is a back reflected signal at a port 1, then for this relation, how we can write an S parameters. S parameter is indicated as a S11. So here, this first one will indicate a reflected signal. It is at a port 1, so we are writing S1, and the incident signal is also at a port 1, so we are writing this second one after S. So the parameter will be a S11. Similarly, if the reflected signal is at a port 1 and the incident signal, that is input signal, is at a port 2, then the S parameter related to this condition can be written as S12, where first one after S indicates a output signal, that is in a reflected signal, and 2 after S 2 indicates an input signal, that is incident at a port 2. Then if the signal is reflected at a port 2 and incident at a port 1, S parameter will be S21. Similarly, reflected at a port 2 and incident at a port 2, S parameter will be S22. So these are the all possible conditions for a two-port network, and we can write the S parameters like this, depending upon an input and output condition, given input and output conditions. Now we will see how to calculate the S parameters for this two-port network. So first we'll see the two-port network, what they mean by a two-port network. So this is a two-port network, okay. So it is having two ports, like this is a port 1 and this is a port 2. So it is called as a two-port network. So any of the port we can use it as an input port, and any of the port we can use it as an output port. So we can say if we are using port 1 as an input port, then A1 will be your input, normalize input signal, normalize input wave, and whatever the signal that we are applying at a port 1 is a V1 plus. Incident signal is incident voltage that we are applying at a port 1, that is V1 plus. Okay. Similarly, if you are using the port number 2 as an input port, then the incident signal that we are applying at a port 2 is V2 plus. Similarly, if the port 1 is an output port, then the back reflected signal is indicated as an a B1. Back reflected signal is indicated as a B1, and whatever this back reflected signal is indicated, voltage is indicated by V1 minus. Similarly, back reflected signal at a port 2 is indicated by V2, and the back reflected voltage at a port 2, that is indicated by V2 minus. So if you have this, then we can write similarly, this is a port 1, and whatever the characteristic impedance at a port 1 is indicated as Z01, characteristic impedance at a port 2 is indicated by Z02. So we can write the normalized incident signal at a port 1, that is indicated by A1, and according to the definition, normalized incident wave at a port 1 is indicated by A1, and according to the definition, it is a normalized incident voltage wave. It is a divided by under root of Z01. That is a characteristic impedance at a port 1. So voltage wave, incident voltage wave is V1 plus. So we are writing here V1 plus under root divided by under root of Z01, that is a characteristic impedance at a port 1. Similarly, if you want to write the formula for B1, so how we can write? B1 is equal to B1 is equal to, that is back reflected voltage wave, that is indicated by V1 minus divided by the characteristic impedance under root of square characteristic impedance at a port 1. So V1 minus divided by under root of Z0 1. Similarly, the incident voltage at an incident normalized incident wave at a port number 2, that is A2 is equal to the incident wave at a port number 2, that is V2 plus, divided by characteristic impedance of a port number 2, that is under root of Z02. Similarly, B2 is equal to V2 minus, divided by under root of Z02. So in that way we can write A1, V1, A2, B2 values, okay, from the circuit conditions. Similarly, if you know A1, B1, A2, B2, then we can find out S11, that is S parameters. So what is S11? S11 will be, how we can write the S11, right? This first one stands for an reflected signal, and second one stands for an incident signal. So S11 we can write it as reflected at a 1, that is reflected signal at 1 is B1. So we will write it as a B1 divided by incident at a 1, that is A1. So B1 upon S11 is equal to B1 upon A1. Similarly, we can write S12. S12 is equal to what? That is, the first one indicates a reflected signal. So this one indicates a reflected signal and 2 indicates an incident signal. So S12 is equal to V1 upon A2. Okay. Similarly, S21 is B2 upon A1. S22 is B2 upon A2. In that way, we can write the all S parameter in terms of incident and reflected signal. So if you write all these four equations, then this will be the all possible conditions for a two-port network. If you have a two-port network, if you can give the input to the one, output is available at a one, or it will be available at a two. If you are giving the input to the port two, input is available, output is available at a one, or output is available at a 2. So this last one indicates an output. So and first one indicates an output, and second one indicates an input. So if the input is at 1, output is at 1. Input is at 2, output is at 1. Input is at 1, output at 2, and output input at 2, output at 2. So these are all possible conditions for a two-port network. Now we can write the actual whatever the output signal at a port number 1, that is B1, and output signal at a port number 2 is the B2. So from all these four equations we will write B1 and B2. So from this equation we can write B1 is equal to what? S11 multiplied by A1. Similarly, from this equation we can write B1 equals to S12 A2. Okay. Similarly, from this equation we can write B2 equals to S21 A1, and from this equation we can write B2 equals to S22 A2. So from all these four equations we can say that is output B1 is available due to S11 A1 and S12 A2. Similarly, output B2 is available due to S21 A1 and S22 A2. So from these two equations we can write B1, we can write B1 equals to S11 A1 plus S12 A2. Similarly, from these two equations, we can write B2 equals to S21 A1 plus S22 A2. So these are two output equations that we can write for a two-port network from the S parameter equation. Okay. Now, based on these two equations we can write the scattering matrix. Okay, so if you have in a two equations we can write the scattering matrix. So how we can write the scattering matrix? So first of all I will consider this output, that is output rows, the output column B1 and B2. So I will write an output condition B1 and B2. So which are the inputs available? Inputs available are A1, A2. So I will write the input matrix A1 and A2. So this A1, A2 and B1, B2 are related to each other with the help of these S parameters. So I can write this S parameters like this, that is from the equation number 1, S11, S12, S21 and S22. So I can write this as parameters in the matrix like S11 from equation number 1, S12 second element from the equation number 2, sorry, equation number 1, then the equation number 2, S21 and S22. So this will be my scattering parameters, scattering matrix for a two-port network, which I am getting from these equations. So based on this, we can calculate based on all these equations, we can calculate the S parameters. Okay. And the basic formula for an S parameters we can calculate. Now, A1 is equal to A1, we have already calculated this. A1 is equal to V1 plus divided by under root of Z01. B1 is equal to V1 minus divided by under root of Z01. A2 is equal to V2 plus divided by under root of Z02 and B2 equals to V2 minus divided by under root of Z02. So we can put these values in the S11 formula. What is S11? S11 is equal to B1 upon A1. So we will put A1 and B1 and A1, that is B1 minus divided by under root of Z01 divided by V1 plus divided by under root of Z01. So Z01, Z01 were same, so it will get cancelled to each other. So remaining will be V1 minus divided by V1 plus. Similarly, the formula for S12 can be calculated in terms of the voltage like B2 upon A2, sorry, B1 upon A2, like S V1 minus divided, we can put the value for B1, that is under root of Z01, then A2 ka value V2 plus divided by under root of Z02. So if Z01 and Z02 are equal, that is input and output impedances of the circuits are perfectly matched, then we can say that we can cancel it out and we can write V1 minus divided by V2 plus or S12. Then S21 is B2 upon A1. We can put the value for B2 like V2 minus divided by under root of Z02. A1 is equal to V1 plus divided by under root of Z01. So if the same condition like input and output impedances are perfectly matched, then we can equalize Z01 and Z02 and cancel with each other. Then remaining will be the V2 minus divided by V1 plus. Similarly, S22 is equal to B2 upon A2 and we can put the value for formula for B2 and A2 both. Here Z02 and Z02 will get cancelled with each other. So remaining will be the V2 minus divided by V2 plus. Okay, so in that way we can calculate, this way we can calculate the S11, S12, S21 and S22 by using this formulas. Okay. Similarly, there is another one way to calculate S11 and S22 by using an input and output impedances. Okay. Now see, this is your two-port network. In this two-port network, if you are observing from this side, if you are observing the network from this side, then your input impedance for the network is Zin, will be Zin. If you're observing the network from this side, the input impedance will be Zin. Okay, so if you know the Zin, you can calculate S11 as S11 is equal to Zin minus Z0 upon Zin plus Z0. What is Z0? Z0 is a characteristic impedance of the line or characteristic impedance of the circuit. Okay, Z0 is a characteristic impedance of the transmission line. Okay, so this is Z0 and Zin is a input impedance of the circuit when we are observing the total impedance of the circuit when we are observing from an input side. Okay, similarly, if you are observing the circuit from this side, that is output side, then the total impedance is indicated as Z out. If you know the Z out, you can calculate S22 as Z out minus Z0 upon Z out plus Z0. where Z out is an output impedance of the circuit and Z0 is a characteristic impedance of the circuit or transmission line. Okay, so in this way we can calculate the S parameters for an two-port network. So we have seen the basics of the S parameters, like what is the S parameters, why we need to use S parameters, then how to calculate the basic S parameters for an two-port network. What is the basic formula for S parameters for an two-port network? So all so we have seen all this in today's lecture. Thank you all. Thanks.